What's up, driver life peeps? Figured I'd just check in and kind of get the head count, see who's still watching these videos, because as you know, I'm probably the least consistent YouTuber on the whole site. That being said, I'm not really a YouTuber, so, as you can see over here, a new guitar. New to me, but if you all know anything about guitars, it's a Martin. Sorry, excuse my Boston accent, but I needed a guitar. I just have to have one. I didn't have a guitar on me, and I splurged. So yeah, and I'm now noticing this case needs to be a little fixed, but nothing crazy. It's a used, but in good condition. Martin D1, if anyone knows anything about that. But I figured I'd kind of check in and just, for my own sanity while I'm in this truck, I'll talk to something. I guess I'm talking to my phone. Because at this point, this is just kind of like my diary. Like, I don't really expect anyone to even see this, but, back in the truck again. Back in a sleeper. Back over the road. Specifically the Northeast. Company I work for is out of Vermont, Barrie, Vermont, and mainly going between Vermont, basically to Pennsylvania, and everywhere in between. So, Massachusetts, Maine, New York, New Jersey, where else? Connecticut. They go other places too, but that's like the majority of the running. That's where the running is. The running is happening. Uh, so yeah, I think last time I made a video, I was driving dump truck, and I'm not consistent with these uploads. I feel like you can only see so much driving footage and so much of me trying to think of shit to talk about for so long, and I enjoy making these videos, to be honest, like here and there, but sometimes when it feels like I have to put out a video, like, if I was making money from this, then maybe I'd feel differently, but sometimes your motivation just gets depleted, and I feel like I got nothing to talk about, because in terms of the trucking community, there's a lot of good YouTubers in the trucking world. I just feel like, what do I have to add to it? Like, here I am in a truck, driving, doing this load, driving through wherever, and maybe people find that interesting, but I get bored doing that shit, so, but I still like coming on and creating something, so I figured you guys never really see my beautiful face. I know, right? Look at my beautiful teeth. I totally don't need a haircut. I totally don't need a shave. It's that trucker look, after 3 weeks out on the road, you start to get that, that trucker double chin and that fucking beard, but, So, we're out here. Basically what happened, I was doing the dump trucking around local. So I was doing local like the last 4 years, and it was good. I enjoyed it, I find that doing local is actually you're more on your tippy toes, or I guess a better way of putting it is you're more on the run than you are over the road. I feel like over the road is very much more relaxed. Yeah, you're doing a lot more driving. Yeah, you're away from home. But local, it's like you wake up early. You wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You run to the yard. You pick up the truck. You get your running in for the day. Then you gotta drive back to the yard. Then you gotta get your car and go home. You gotta do that whole process every single day. And you gotta keep up with it. It's like a treadmill. You gotta keep up with that. Wake up early, get to the shop, do your runs, get back to the shop, drive home. And, you know, on average, those shifts are like 9 hours, At least what I was doing. Maybe there's other shit, but, you know. So it was nice being home every day. It was nice being home on the weekends. The thing is as I've gotten older, and part of the reason I wanted to be home, was I'm a musician. Not gonna, as you saw my guitar, not gonna sit here and tout and be like I'm a great musician, but I do enjoy playing music, and I was playing gigs. I was in a band, and at the time, I was trying to kind of make that work. We were recording some music, the whole bang. My band records albums and blah 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 blah. Like, so I still enjoy playing music, and I still write music, and I still try to play gigs here and there, but it's not something that I'm like trying to go 100% at. And I know it's like, oh, the dreams didn't work out. It's like I still love playing music, and whether I'm playing music to make money or not, I'm still gonna enjoy doing it. But what happened was, is I was living at I guess an apartment with like four of my buddies, and basically they left, and I had the lease for another year, and yeah, I couldn't find anybody to take over the room, so it just got to a point where I was like, I'm not really playing music as much anymore. I left the band I was in. I feel like I'm barely breaking even playing all this rent, and working, and I'm killing myself. I have to drive 30 minutes to and from work that I'm not getting paid for. I said, I have some debt to pay off. Let me get back in a truck, and let's just stay over the road until we got our money situation handled. And so that's kind of what led me to doing this again. And I've been out now for about 3 weeks, and I mean, if you guys are curious, I'll tell you, I make 64 cents a mile, which I think is not too bad, and averaging, so like the past week I ran, I think about 2,200 miles in 7 days. So after taxes, it was like $1,300. So let's average, 1,000 to 1,300 a week. I ain't no rich man. I know that. I know I'm gonna hear some people. Well, if I get any views on this, I'm gonna hear some people. Oh, I make all this money. I make this. It's like, look. In the trucking game, in the trucking world, I'm still a newbie, and I haul dry van, and reefer. I'm a dock bumper. I don't touch the fucking freight. I hit a dock, I pull the brakes, I come back, and I jerk off. That's what I do. Well, I play my guitar, I'm just fucking around with you, but, well, but you know what I'm saying. It's easy, in the company I work for, they have other opportunities. They have flatbed, they have local work, they have a bunch of other stuff. They have low boys. So we're staying over the road for right now, and I don't want to be a job hopper, in all honesty, and not just because it looks bad, but also just because I'm at a point where I'm like, I just want to like settle for a bit. I'm not saying, oh, I want to settle down. I'm done trying. It's like, for right now, I just want to keep my head down and make money, and that's really it. So that's kind of where we're at. But me, my biggest struggle is that I get bored doing the same thing, and once I get bored because it gets easy, then I go, oh, my anxiety goes up, and I need to do something else, and that's when you see me quitting and going to another job, and I don't like this place anymore, blah blah blah. I'm trying to relax, keep my anxiety down, work on myself a little bit, and I really do enjoy trucking, and what people don't get, I think the truckers that stick around versus the truckers that come in and then leave are the ones that stick around view this as a lifestyle. It's like, this is the life I live, and money is a part of that, and we have to make money. That is the truth. You can't be out here for free. But at the same time, it's a life you want to live behind the wheel, traveling and being, out there, as they say, out here, whatever the saying is, we're out here. But it's kind of a good feeling because you do make a lot of memories. Sometimes you see some crazy shit, and you're going on adventures every day. And I think the ones that don't stick around aren't really in it for the lifestyle. And let's be real, the lifestyle follows you when you're working local too. You're still just driving all fucking day long, every day. That's it. Period. The end. So, I guess, the ones that don't stick around are the ones that come in this just trying to make a bunch of money. And I know it's like, well, that's why we're all doing this. We all want to make a bunch of money. And you're right, but it's like, when it comes to work, I think you got to choose the right environment for you. You know, and for instance, people that work 9 to 5 in an office, and a lot of guys will be jealous of them. Oh, because sometimes they don't have to leave their house, this or that. But look at it this way, like my life, our lives as truckers, is we stare out a window all day at the highway for hours. These people who work 9 to 5s, or I don't even want to call it 9 to 5, people that work on the computer, let's put it that way. Those people, at least the ones that are making money, they are on the computer when sun comes up till sun goes down. Like, their life is staring at a computer screen. At the end of the day, it's all just work, and work is all the same. So why do truckers choose trucking? Because it works for them. The work works for them. It can't be about the money. It just can't be about the money. Especially in trucking. Look, if it's about the money for you, then go become an entrepreneur or something and buy and sell businesses. But even so, anything you do can't really be about the money. Because it won't work long term if it's about the money. So you have to find something in life that pays you enough that you can live the lifestyle you want and still enjoy what you do. And that doesn't mean you go through times where you hate what you do. But what keeps me coming back, because I'm the same as any other trucker. We all have our moments where we go, fuck this, I'm done with this truck. I'm done trucking, I'm going home, I'm finding another job. Finding another job. I need to learn how to speak better, in all honesty. I need to find another job. And then you know what happens? You either sleep on it and you go, I think I'm going to stay here. Or you do find another job and you realize that feeling you have is going to be the same feeling you have for any job. So you got to just learn how to enjoy work. Any type of work. Just working. Because if you're not working, what are you doing? And that goes with anything. When I'm not driving, I like to play music. But when I play music, I'm not just randomly playing music. I'm working on technique. I'm writing new songs. I'm learning new songs. Because that's what makes it fun. And sure, I go and I jam over stuff I know, but that stuff gets boring. It's not fun when you're not progressing. And I think when you don't know what to progress, sometimes it's just working on the little things and working on what you already know, but focusing. Focusing is what matters. You can practice the same thing. And some people might say, what are you doing? You're not learning anything new, you're just practicing the same thing. Where was I going with that? No. Yeah. What are you doing? You're practicing the same thing. It's like, well, I can practice the same thing, but now focus on this aspect of it. Or, and that's what makes you better. You don't have to try to do anything differently. Do what you're already doing, but try to change your perspective on it. How, people don't realize little things like that will make a big difference in their life. I relate it back to music. If I'm working on some strum technique, maybe I don't know what to work on. I go back to some strumming technique that I already know. Well, now when I practice it, I'm not thinking as much about the technique. I'm thinking more about, you know, how loud am I playing? How consistent are my strokes? So I'm not thinking about the technique anymore. I'm thinking about, like, I'm having like a meta conversation in my head. And I keep pulling myself out further and further until I can, my perspective on the whole situation is such a bird's eye view that you get to a point where you can see everything. And you can keep seeing more because you keep going back to what you already know and you focus on the little things. And when you focus on the little things, you can see the whole picture. So I don't really know where this conversation was going. I think it's just I need to get words out of my mouth, and I have no one to talk to because I'm in a truck. As well as I'm kind of an introvert, so I have a hard time just going up to people and talking to them. So yeah, that's, trucker rants. That's what this is. It's just a trucker rant. Trying to keep you guys updated. Trying to keep myself sane. Sometimes when I make these videos and I explain this is what I'm doing and blah blah blah, it's kind of a self-reflection thing. I think I'm kind of saying it to myself. It helps me out. You know. So we'll leave it at that, guys. We'll see when the next video is. I don't know, but it's been a pleasure bringing you guys along this journey. Man, I can't believe I started this channel before I even had a CDL, and now I'm on like my fourth, right? Fourth CDL job. I've been over the road. I've done multiple local jobs. I've driven van, and so it's nice to, all you guys that are still watching. I appreciate you guys. Any new people here, welcome. I got some other videos you can watch if you want. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like I'm some videographer that puts these amazing edits. But if you watched my last couple videos, I tried. I put some, I put some music in, and I tried. But we'll see you next time. This is Driver Life. Peace and out.